everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of the Loner UIM. This episode I want to get a mithril axe for future woodcutting, fletching and firemaking training. To do so I'll need to kill blue dragons, and the best way to do so is to use magic. But runes are difficult to get since I don't have access to magic shops or the runecrafting skill, and monsters that drop runes usually have a small chance of dropping them, say 1 in 100 for only a few runes per drop, and iron spawns via world hopping are tedious to get since most spawns only have one of each rune. If we can get elemental staves, this will significantly reduce the number of runes we need to get through these tedious methods. Elemental staves are dropped by air, water, earth and fire elementals in the Elemental Workshop dungeon, which requires the Elemental Workshop 1 quest. Normally quests require NPC interaction, hence the general implication of the series that I can't do quests. For the Elemental Workshop quests don't require any NPC interaction, so I can complete them. For Elemental Workshop 1, we need 30 mining to mine the coal, 20 smithing and 20 crafting. To kill the elementals, we'll try using ranged, and if it doesn't work out, we'll try melee. Before we get into this episode, I did record live commentary for most of this episode, but I did run into some audio issues, so most of this will be re-recorded commentary over clips. However, I've kept in a couple of live reactions since I can't capture them in a re-record, but they might have some audio issues, so I apologise for those. Now onto the clips. For the Elemental Workshop quest, we need a knife, pickaxe, thread, which respawns in the Jolly Bar in northeast of Varrock, a hammer, and you also need a needle and leather, which apparently you can both get during the quest. And that's 30 mining, and that's the 4 coal we need for the quest, and that's 20 crafting. Now we can do the Elemental Workshop 1 quest. There's the leather, there's the needle, and that's the Elemental Workshop 1 quest complete. We got 26 crafting and 28 smithing, plus the elemental shield, and even though its defensive stats are terrible, I think the shield looks pretty cool with the iron crossbow. The most important elemental staff to get for magic training is the air staff, so we're going to kill these air elementals first. We'll see how it goes with and without prayer, and I'll come back to you once I have the air staff. Okay, so I just got destroyed by those elementals, so I went to Ardougne to recharge my prayer at the chapel there and get some food. Yeah, they just destroyed me, so I definitely need to train my defense so I don't get KO'd by these guys. But I am doing solid damage with my iron crossbow and iron bolts. After this I'm going to go and kill hill giants in Broome dungeon in the safe spots there to get a fire staff and then farm for the air rune separately since this doesn't seem to be working out. There's no other way to get an air staff other than air elementals, and since I can't kill them, I don't think I can kill fire elementals for the fire staff either. Also, I think the time used to try and get staves from elementals could instead be used to get a fire staff from fire giants and other runes from, say, dark wizards in the Dark Wizards Tower. To get into Broome dungeon for fire giants, I need to get 875 GP. This is to pay the NPC at the door to enter the dungeon. Now, normally this would fall under NPC interaction, but if that NPC wasn't there, then you'd be able to enter the dungeon freely. So much like the Alchemist Tollgate, this will be an exception to those rules. We'll also need an axe to move through the dungeon, but I'll be able to get that pretty quickly. But to get to Broome itself, we'll need to use the Tazar Fight Pit minigame teleport, and here's proof that we can use it, since we can't use boats to get there. When we minigame teleport, we'll end up in Karanja, after which we'll just run through the gate and over to Broome dungeon. Since we can't access Broome and Karanja by boat, we're just going to treat it like its own isolated, unmappable island. Got 875 GP, full inventory of cupcakes, and welcome to Broome. This is Broome dungeon. If that NPC wasn't there, then we'd be able to walk right in, and I'm going to talk to this guy to prove it. Can I go through that door, please? Most certainly, but I must charge you the sum of 875 GP first, which means that the door's not locked, and if that NPC wasn't there, then we'd be able to go in straight away. It took me a while to find the safe spot. First I thought it was behind the rocks here, and then some other rocks. Then I watched Verse video on killing fire giants here, and his safe spot was standing by a skeleton, which also took me a bit to find. Well, I died. I got to the safe spot and then another fire giant immediately started attacking me and my prayer ran out, so I got KO'd immediately. The issue here is that in order to get back in and get all my items back, I need to get another 875 GP, which took absolutely forever the first time. If I lose everything, it's going to be pretty devastating. I'm not far into the account, but I've never been an Ultimate Iron Man before, and this is my first death where I lost stuff of value to me, my iron crossbow, 3,000 feathers, 1,000 bronze bolts, 600 iron bolts, and my steel pickaxe. And the minigame teleport has a 20-minute cooldown, so if I forget something, say my axe, then I'd have to wait another 20 minutes to get back, and if I forgot enough items, then I would just lose everything. I had a lot of cakes when I got KO'd. That fire giant didn't attack me for a second, so I thought it might have been a safe spot, like literally right there. Trainer demons. I'm going to leave and train my defense. To train defense, I'll use melee by getting a steel scimitar from hill giants in the desert plateau, but they're taking absolutely forever to kill since they keep running away whenever I try attacking it. You know what? I've done a lot of kills with no steel scimitar drops, so I'm just going to get an iron scimitar from the wilderness instead. Death piling to not risk items in the wilderness. Iron scimitar acquired. Got 20 attack real quick since Moss Giants dropped the mithril sword, and it means I won't have to worry about getting the iron scimitar from the wilderness anymore. Moss Giants are safe spottable at the Moss Giant Island in Broome, and that's a black square shield, so once I get 10 defense, I can wear that. The audio of my live reaction to this is super blown out, so I'm not including it, but it did take me almost an hour to get the mithril sword. Like, I really thought I wouldn't get it, so I was pretty happy, and it allowed me to drop my iron scimitar, and I can go train 20 defense. I can now wear mithril armor, 20 strength to clean up the stats, Death piling at Edgeville to get the steel plate legs and steel plate body as armor against elementals. Oh my god, there it is. Oh my god. Okay, I'm so relieved. Okay, so what happened was I went to get the steel plate legs, but the world that I got it on, the steel plate legs had been picked up. So I panicked and I hopped worlds, and of course when I hopped worlds, I completely lost what world I was on, but I found everything. I was fully prepared to have to like reset, you know. I was thinking of like, oh, you know, how do I get back this and this and this, and the relief is very tangible. So death piling adrenal this time, steel plate legs, earth staff, didn't know that was there, so I got it, steel plate body, and I made it back to my staff. I look like a boss. Back to elementals. I'm going to try killing fire elementals first because apparently they have lower stats than air elementals, so they're easier to kill, and getting a fire staff would be really good. If I can't kill fire elementals, there's no hope for me killing the air ones. I just started ranging these guys, and you might be thinking, why are you ranging a full melee armor? Even with the negative range attack bonus from the melee armor, I still have plus 22 attack bonus, which is twice as much as I have with the mithril sword. Still getting destroyed by these guys though. So I'm going to have a go at air elementals anyway. Air elementals seem to have a weakness to range because I'm destroying this one much more than it was the fire elementals. Woo! That is the Staff of Air. Oh man, just when I was about to end my trip. That is so beautiful. Staff of Air acquired. Now we just need to get mind runes, then we can start magic training to kill blue dragons. Time to kill dark wizards for runes. Never mind. Let's try out Red Warriors since they occasionally drop 9 mind runes at a time. Got an easy clue scroll that I can do. Next step, I could do. Same with the next. And then... vented by killing fire elementals, but I got nothing. After killing Red Warriors for a little over half an hour, I only got 2 drops of 9 mind runes. So the best bet for getting mind runes is hopping worlds and picking up the single respawn in Lumbridge Castle. We'll mostly stick to airstrikes since all we'll need to get are mind runes, and killing monsters for other runes hasn't worked out. 1 hour later and we've gone from 18 to 333 mind runes, so this is about 310 mind runes an hour. This was pretty tedious even without the world hopping limits, and I'll never take the magic shops or the magic tutors free 30 mind and air runes for granted ever again. With those mind runes, I got 116 XP away from 17 magic, and I used Earth Strike and Wind Strike when I could with the spare runes I had. I couldn't believe that I'd gotten that high with just 1 hour picking up mind runes, so I got some more, and then I got 17 magic for Wind Bolt. It hits almost the same as Fire Strike, but on this account the runes for Wind Bolt are much easier to get. All we need are Chaos runes, which respawn in level 35 wilderness by the Moss Giants. But before we do that, I want to get 70 agility, which we'll need for the agility shortcut to get to blue dragons in Tabberley Dungeon, since we can't get the dusty key from the NPC. I want to train agility with as low weight as possible, and at 37 kilos I'll need to drop some stuff. I'll be dropping my steel armor, elemental shield, and earth staff. They've been great, but they're way too heavy to carry around. And we'll go get the boots of lightness as well. Candle, boots of lightness, 50 agility. Took 5 hours to get from 42 to 50, but now I can go to the Falador course. That's 52 agility, took another hour, but now I can move on to the wilderness course, which is double the XP per hour versus the Falador course. But the wilderness course is located in deep wilderness. To not risk my items in there, I'll need to keep death piling outside the wilderness and keep picking up my items every hour, since that's how long they stay on the ground after dying. But if for some reason I can't get back to my items in time, I lose everything. While I don't have much, these items would be quite difficult to get back with such low stats, especially the air stuff, so to mitigate this risk, I'll use up all the items in my inventory and train my stats. I'll use bones to bananas with the nature runes, which required earth runes from above the grain exchange and water runes from the Alcrid mine. Got 18 magic, but I didn't bring enough earth and water runes to use up all my nature runes, and I'm quite far from both of these spawns, so I'm just going to drop these nature runes. And I'm also going to drop these lore runes, since I can't use teleports anyway. Oh, there's an altar here that would have been so useful when killing elementals. Right now I'm training my attack from 20 to 40 at rock crabs, so that I can drop my mithril sword and get a rune scimitar from fire giants the next time I want to try melee. I brought a chisel with me so that I can make pearl bolts from the oysters these guys drop, which I can then attach to my iron bolts to make pearl bolts, which have a slightly higher range strength, but I didn't have the levels for it. Got an easy clue that I can do, but since I'm quite far from it, I won't do that until I'm done here. Casket, wonder what's in here. Ooh, a sapphire! I can use that to make the magic amulet. Another casket, what do we get? A loop half, I could technically get a dragon stone. Another casket, useless. That's 40 attack, that took 6 hours, but I also got 41 range from using all of my bolts. I'm going to make the magic amulet right now, and for this I need to cut the sapphire. 27 crafting, coincidentally. I came all the way down Corsair Cove from Castle Wars to try and get the gold bar, and now I can't get it because it's behind a locked gate which requires telegrab at 33 magic to get it. And there are gold ore spawns in the wilderness, but I don't have 40 smithing to make a gold bar from that. So no magic amulet just yet, so I'll just have to drop the sapphire for now. I'll also be dropping the tooth half of a key since I don't have a loop half, and it'll be a very long time before I can use the dragon stone from the crystal key. And I'll also be dropping the mithril sword since with 40 attack I can get the mithril scimitar for future melee training. I noticed a spade in Corsair dungeon on the way to my clue, which I grabbed in case I needed it. I managed to complete the clue with 4 search steps. First easy casket acquired, and the reward is Steel Full Helm G. Completely and utterly useless, but hey, the mine runes, tiny bit of extra training. Anyway, I was really happy that I was able to complete my first easy clue, especially with a maximum of 4 steps. I really thought I'd have to talk to NPCs because there's a lot of steps where you have to talk to them. So really awesome that I could complete one. Conveniently, we're right by Taverley Mine for the next step to clear our inventory, clearing these feathers by making iron bolts. Looking like a champ. I used the mine runes from the clue on guards and completely unexpectedly I got 19 magic. Ooh, a clue gear, never gotten one of those. And a guard to it. I'm going to drop my black square shield since after this I want to use my iron bolts for range training and I won't need it for that. Plus the reduced weight now will help me while training smithing. I'll keep the Steel Helm G for Fashionscape though. Now that I'm over 29 combat, the level 14 scorpions don't automatically attack me, which wasn't the case the last time I made iron bolts. So the route I'm taking this time is to mine iron ore here in the Dwarven Mine, then go into the furnace in Falador, then if I have less than 16 iron bars, I go to the Taverley Mine for more iron ores, go back to the furnace to smelt a second round, then with whatever I got, I go back down to the mines, then through the agility shortcut to the anvil to smith iron bolts. These iron bolts legitimately took, 10 to 12 hours to make? But now the feathers are cleared from my inventory and I have 9,000 iron bolts. I accidentally made some extras, so I'll grab the feathers for those and then we'll go kill moss giants with them to get runes, since we'll need every rune we can get to train magic to kill blue dragons. But I got 47 mining, 42 smithing and 42 fletching out of it. I think it was worth it. Since I'm done with mining and smithing, I'll be dropping the steel pickaxe, and I'll also be saying goodbye to the steel full helm G, because even though you're called Fashionscape, you're not useful for range training. I forgot to bring food for range training, then I remembered that there were pineapples, but I forgot to bring my knife to make them into pineapple rings for food, so luckily there's a knife spawn in the Karamja General Store. Wait a second. I saw this blue flower over here and I thought, that looks familiar. There's like 10 over here. Turns out, you don't see that many of these. No way. No way. The yellow flowers as well. A rarely found flower. Very rare flowers. Very rare. Ludicrous. I was going to kill moss giants for runes, but I'm killing Jokers instead for training sticks because I remember that the Broome dungeon has an alternate entrance west of Taiwan, which costs 5,000 training sticks. Eventually I'll be going back to Broome dungeon to get a rune scimitar from fire giants, and the alternate entrance will make getting there much quicker, and I won't have to thieve 175 GP for each trip, which will save a lot of time. I'm allowing myself to do this since, like the Alcrid tollgate, If the NPC got in the alternate entrance wasn't there, then I could use the entrance straight away. And while I have so much ammo, this is the best time to get the trading sticks for it. My ultimate goal though is to just use these bolts up for range XP and so that they're not just sitting in my inventory. I just calculated how many Jogers I'll need to kill for this, and I might not have enough bolts to do this. Jogers have a 1 in 5 chance of dropping training sticks at 22 per drop. 5,000 training sticks are required, which means we need to kill about 1,137 Jogers on average. So if I don't get enough training sticks from these bolts, I'll need to go get some mine runes for Windstrike to get the rest, which will be tedious, but I do need the magic XP anyway. Oh, medium clue scroll, didn't expect that. Oh, we can do that. Safe spot on this dog. Oh, we can do that. Spade here, delightful. Once I got 1,000 training sticks, I started picking up Joga bones and burning them for prayer XP. It's only 15 XP, same as big bones, but XP is XP, and I'm picking up all my bolts with every kill, so I might as well pick up the bones as well. Okay, like literally 12 hours into this, 3,300 training sticks in, I look up the wiki and it says that hobgoblins on Karamja drop way more training sticks than Jogas do. Oh, I could have saved myself so much time. It's a safe spot. So right by the fairy ring, there's a jungle plant to the northwest, and you can get a hobgoblin trap there, and off we go. I will say though, very time consuming to lure, so I don't think it's actually worth killing hobgoblins, even though their rate of dropping stuff is so much higher. Oop, and there's tribesmen there, which can poison me. So gonna go back to Jogas, even though it's like 20 times slower. Also because the hobgoblins kept hitting me a lot of damage, which is why I have all these pineapple rings right now. So I just got a medium clue scroll that I can do. I've actually gotten a bunch of these throughout my grind for the trading sticks, but this is the second one I've been able to do. All these hobgoblins here, too bad only the ones on the Karamja drop, trading sticks. But hey, here's the next step of the clue. Wait a second, that same spooky picture from Draenor Manor is there. So it's the reverse Mona Lisa. Another clue I can do. Next step. And after 18 hours in total, that is 61 range, and I'm nearly done with the training sticks, and I can wield the rune crossbow, which I can get from Crazy Archaeologist, and that is absolutely insane. I never thought that when I made the over 9,000 iron bolts to clear my inventory that I would ever get this far. Strange plant? That's not an NPC. Woo! Oh my god, that is the final trading stick drop. I think after about 19 hours, finally I have all the trading sticks I need to unlock the alternate entrance to Broome Haven dungeon. That took another 30 to 45 minutes since my last clip, but along the way I got 61 range, 46 prayer, 51 hit points, and 53 combat. Never expected to get such high stats from this grind, all from just trying to clear my inventory of feathers by making iron bolts and killing monsters with them. Let's go unlock the alternate entrance. Oh man, I can't believe it. I'm going to talk to you to unlock this cave and this alternate entrance. Yes, 5,000 trading sticks, and I can go in. Hopefully I don't get KO'd by a bronze dragon on the way in. Woo! Whoa, oh my god, oh my god, oh my... You know what, to be safe, I'm just gonna thieve 875 GP, go through the normal entrance, and then make my way to where I died, because I don't think on this side there aren't any bronze dragons, so I should be okay. Oh no! Maybe the alternate entrance? Not such a good idea. But hey, it's unlocked. Imagine that, 19 hours of work for pretty much nothing. I didn't realise this at the time, but the NPC at the alternate entrance to Broome Haven dungeon literally adds a climbing rope. So if it wasn't for her interference, we wouldn't be able to go down this entrance in the first place. If I'd known this at the time, I wouldn't have unlocked it, but I only found out afterwards, so I just won't use it moving forward. 19 minutes later, going back for my stuff. Okay, dragons turn the other way. Dragons turn the other way. So now that I've thankfully gotten all my stuff back, now it is time to use up the rest of my iron bolts at Moss Giants. I didn't realise this before killing Jokers, but I got a truckload of nature runes from them, which will be fantastic magic XP, especially once I unlock low alchemy at level 21 magic. And that's my first mossy kit. Briarfighter does drop a lot of runes. Also just remember that to kill blue dragons I'll need some magic gear. Wow, got the blue wizard robe top already. That was like, what, 20 kills? Also got free smithing XP with the steel bars I got from Moss Giants. Got a knife to kill Briarfighter later, and killing dark wizards for the dark wizard hat since I'm now strong enough to not get attacked by the level 20s. Oh, black robe, rip. Wizard hat, excellent. Never mind about the knife, I just used the agility shortcut in Edgeville Dungeon. But I've never killed Briarfighter before. We'll see how this goes. Never mind, didn't bring anti-poison. And even though UIM death mechanics have now been updated so that in instance areas like Briarfighter, your items will drop on the ground for 60 minutes like a normal death, I don't want to risk it, especially with no food. I'm back here at Moss Giants and I'll kill them until I get down to 1,000 iron bolts. Then I'll use up all my runes to minimize my losses should I die, and then I'll use all the mossy keys at once to kill Briarfighter. Oh, a clue! I'm also going to sacrifice the blue wizard robe because I prefer the black robe for aesthetics. And I can't do the next step. Decided to go for the fire stuff at fire elementals for low alchemy magic training. I don't have a live reaction to this because the microphone didn't record, but I got the fire stuff and 14 kills at the end of my trip, so I was very excited. Otherwise I would have had to pick up over 1,500 fire runes just to low alch with the nature runes I got from Jokers, which would have taken a couple of hours. After that, I grabbed an air staff for curse spells, got chaos runes because why not, and got a sapphire and gold ore since I had 40 smithing to make a gold bar, and I remembered that I had cosmic runes so that I could make a magic amulet. I could stack rune warriors because no mine runes, hill giants because no seal skimmy, and a truckload of chickens because why not, for 21 magic below alchemy. I alched runes and alched rune mine while running between the rune spawns there, including the deaths and bloods and most cosmics, since I couldn't use them or didn't need them, and then I telegrabbed the spawns once I got 33 magic until I got 35 for firebolt. Then I got anti-poison, kegs, and an iron axe to try and kill Briarfighter. Well, that went well. Decided to use the rest of my iron bolts to kill fire giants instead to try and get a rune scimitar while I have money from alching. If I can get a rune scimitar, I can then train my melee stats to 60 so that I can go straight to killing Tazar monsters for obby weapons, and not having to worry about paying the entrance fee to get into Broome Dungeon. There's a safe spot on the bottom floor west of Black Demons. Another fire battle staff, rip. Are you serious? I fully realise the irony of me not wanting one I now know are fire battle stars when at the start of the episode it's something that I wanted from these guys, but that was back when I couldn't kill elementals. Oh no, I was AFKing and then I died. I was editing because I lost some live commentary and I died. Okay, side note, why is a guy in an ancestral hat with a trident of the swamp at Bob's axe shop? Ridiculous. Yeah, see, I moved one square too far west, whereas this square is the only safe spot that can still reach the fire giants, so once I stepped out here, I ended up dying. 237 kills of fire giants, plus about 10 more on mobile, and I didn't get a single rune scimitar. That is very unfortunate, but I'm going to be leaving now. I'll save the chaos runes for when we kill blue dragons. And now we're going to get 40 crafting so that we can make a magic amulet to kill blue dragons with. I'm going to smith steel kite shields from the bars dropped by fire giants, and then I'm going to alch them as well as a few runes to use up the nature runes that I also got from fire giants. I'm a last man standing right now, and I wish to deposit these coins for future fire giant trips into this coffer, but we must talk to Lisa before using the coffer. Now, I am also going to treat this like the Alchemist Tollgate and stuff like that, where if the NPC wasn't there, we'd be able to use this no issue. I'll double check with the dialogue now. And there's nothing in the dialogue with Lisa to suggest that this chest is actually locked, it's just whether you have permission to use it, so I'm going to allow myself to use it. And now that we're done with the iron crossbow, I am going to drop it. Thank you so much for being my rock, worth a solid 86 GP in the Grand Exchange. But once I get to Crazy Archaeologist, I can upgrade to the Rune Crossbow, so I probably won't need you anymore, and even if I do, I can create you pretty easily. Let's take a moment to mourn this. I've spent like 70 hours with this. Also going to drop the earth stuff to save space, because if I'm going to be using my arrows, I'd rather spend them using firebolt than earthbolt. And I'd rather have one extra inventory spot for crafting training. The reason why I'm getting 40 crafting is because I want to make a magic amulet. Even though it only takes 24 crafting to make the sapphire amulet, you need to get an amulet mold, which you can only get from a respawn in the crafting guild, which requires 40 crafting to enter. So we're going to have to get 40 crafting to get there. In addition, we happen to pick up an emerald from fire giants, so we might as well use this time to create an emerald ring as well. I just realized that we can save another inventory spot by dropping this gold bar, because I now have telekinetic grab, so I can grab the gold bar spawn in either the Varrock West Bank in the basement or from Corsair Co. So I'm going to drop this. We're starting at 27 crafting. Let's see how long this takes. And that's 40 crafting. Now we can enter the crafting guild to get all the molds we need for our jewelry. That only took a little over 3 hours, so considering all my previous grinds this episode, really good time. And here's the crafting guild. I have had a little think about it, and I am going to make the crafting guild an exception for myself, because if this guy wasn't here, I'd be able to walk straight in. It's not like the door's locked, it's just you can't enter since you're not wearing a brown apron. Unfortunately, the only brown apron that is available to me in the game is for buying it from an NPC, so I am going to be breaking my rules a little bit here, but I think it's okay due to the fact that this restriction is NPC induced. Buying a brown apron from an NPC, I should just restart my account. Had to come here anyway to telegraph the gold bar because I don't have an extra one for the emerald. Alright, you demanding prick, let me in. Amulet mold, chisel, ring mold. And that's the Amulet of Magic acquired, plus 10 magic bonus, which will be amazing when killing blue dragons and when using magic in the future. And finally, about 50 or more hours later than planned, we're going to train agility in the wilderness course. I'll have to come back and read death part every hour, but if I get killed by wolves or PKs, I can just do that then. Well, that went well. So I lost a little over half an hour. I got 17.4k in a little over half an hour, which means it's about 30k XP per hour. The volatile course is about 22k XP per hour, but there's no item risk, no energy loss, there's no health loss. It's just all around much better for this account, even though it's a little bit slower. Part of me is just laughing right now because I did all of this emptying inventory, range training, making iron bolts, all of it, just so I could go to the wilderness course without risking too many of my items, only to last less than an hour over there before dying and coming back here anyway. And that is 60 agility. I can now go to the Sears rooftop course, and that's 65 agility. Now I can try the shortcut into Canifus. Can we use the shortcut? You fear for your safety going through into this area. What? And that's 70 agility. I can now use the Tavily Dungeon shortcut to get to blue dragons. Oh, it's beautiful! Alright, time to kill blue dragons and hope that we get something good. I also picked up some mine runes just in case the chaos runes weren't enough, and picked up some cakes for food in case I got hit by the dragons. First kill, do I get the mithril axe 1kc? Got some nice bones though, and dragon hide that I can't tan. Got 37 magic, now I can teleport to Falador. And I'm also using Mystic Might in an attempt to make the most of my limited Chaos Runes. And that's the last Chaos Rune. So about 140 Chaos Runes got about 5.5 blue dragons. This is going to take a while. This will be the last kill with my mind runes. So with the 320 mind runes I had, I killed an additional 8.5 dragons, which I don't think is better than getting chaos runes. Last kill of the trip, and nothing. I got some nature runes from blue dragons, so I decided to use them to alch water runes. At the end of my trip, I decided to death pile at Draenor, then go to the wilderness and use my dragon bones on the chaos altar, then use that time to pick up chaos runes and moss giants. My first trip at moss giants didn't go so well. The only way for me to get to the moss giants at level 35 wilderness without the Waka canoe at level 57 woodcutting is to use the minigame teleport to Clan Wars, then run up there, which depleted all my run energy, so I couldn't really run around and pick up the chaos runes, and the moss giants hit me pretty hard since I have very low defense, and my prey ran out pretty quickly, so I was only able to get 120 chaos runes in about 15 minutes before I had to leave. On that first trip, I totally forgot about the wilderness obelisks. There's one right outside Clan Wars and another one right next to the moss giants, so could have saved myself a lot of run energy. On my second trip, I implemented the wilderness obelisk strategy, but I got PK'd, so put an end to that pretty quickly, and I decided to go to pick up mind runes instead. 3 hours later, that's over 900 mind runes. Back to blue dragons for hopefully the mithril axe. So I've killed 2 blue dragons so far with firebolt, and it's about 30 chaos runes per dragon. I'm really dreading what's going to happen when I inevitably don't get the mithril axe drop, and I'm realizing now that I should have killed these guys with range instead, because at least I can pick up the ammo, whereas runes are gone forever, so. Yes! Yes! Woo! Mithril axe! Oh my god, I actually can't believe it. That is insane. I think, yeah, I've killed 18 blue dragons total. I think this is the 1 in 42 drop. Oh, let's get the hell out of here. Oh my god. Okay, don't die, don't die. Whoops. Definitely meant to set it to protect my magic, but I am too happy for this. This ridiculous mithril axe. I think this axe was literally, what, 120 plus hours in the making? I feel like I'm going crazy. You know, I really thought I was going to be like, well, 1 hour spent picking up chaos runes, 3 hours on mind runes, and then I have to go back for a third trip or more. But I've got the mithril axe, I'm done! Oh, let's move on to the next goals. Let us celebrate our victory by having a beer. Oh, that tastes so good. And now I can get out of here with my delightful mithril axe. I feel like I've done the one small favor quest. I've killed dozens of elementals and made thousands of iron bolts. I've killed hundreds of Jogas, moss giants and fire giants, and spun hundreds of bowstrings. I ran on rooftops for days, picked up hundreds of chaos runes, and fought blue dragons. And what do I get? A mithril axe. But now that I have the mithril axe, I am so excited for the next set of goals. There is so much more to do, so far to go, and next episode we will be training up a ton of stats in preparation for hopefully one day killing the crazy archaeologist. I apologize for how long this episode was. This went completely off the rails. I just wanted to get a mithril axe by killing blue dragons with magic, and it spiraled into all of this. So if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.